Seeing the occasional alligator is just part of life here in Southeast Texas, but handling those gators when they go to places they shouldn't is usually someone else's job, unless that is you are Mike McNeil.
Well, if you were a guy growing up in the 80s, you had three basic heroes. First, Luke Skywalker. Or Han Solo if you were really self-confident. Indiana Jones, of course, self-confident or not. You know, he was afraid of snakes. It made him a little more human, I'd like to think. And, of course, Superman. Now, the first two Christopher Reeves Supermans, I want to be very clear about that. Not the garbage that came out before or since. Just Chris, just the first two movies. But for many of us, our heroes have kind of gone the way of the VCR. They grew up. Luke turned out to be more of a geek than the kids that worshipped him. Indiana he just kind of got old, and Superman left us all. But there is one thing we as guys never outgrow, the need for heroes. It's why football exists. And after we get married, we have kids, now we need to be the hero. Especially after the mishap that we had at my very own wedding recently. Yeah, that was the need that took me to Gator country. They're just outside of Beaumont. Turns out the day I arrived was the perfect storm. Kids to egg me on. Plenty of animals ready to remove a limb. And, of course, bulls. Just enough to make my 5'6" frame feel more like angry Bill Bixby than a mild-mannered reporter.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
So I've discovered with Generation Y, that's the kids growing up right now, you got to do a couple things. First, you got to build suspense. You got to give them a good sense of perspective. So we start out slow.
We just found it. It was in the backyard.
Just a little bit of snakes. Little alligators. This thing called a caiman.
That's a spectacled caiman right there. They're really aggressive. Yeah, I see you didn't let him get the smooth running. That other one there really gets you.
And this freaky little lizard thing that was hanging on to me for dead life. Here's the thing. If I was really going to win these kids over, if I was going to really earn the shirt I was wearing, it was time to get down and get my Harrison Ford on.
Where you guys from? All right, Bowie. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Come on, bud.
All right, just so you know, that was actually more dangerous than it looked. I wasn't hooked into anything. I was actually hanging on to that thing. Plus, I could have got really, really wet, and those shoes were incredibly, brand new. So, not impressed? Okay, how about I sucker punch a dinosaur? Never mind the guy behind me, he's holding my belt loop. He's just holding me back to protect the T-Rex. Now, before we go any further, I just want everybody at home to know that I come from a very long line of plumbers. That's going to make sense here in about 3 seconds. Told you. Sorry. You weren't eating, were you? Well, it seems the art of subduing an alligator is a lot like trying to date a woman who is way out of your league. First, find a position where she really never gets to look at you straight in the eye. Second, wear her out. In this case, drag the alligator around by the tail. Now, I don't recommend this for dating, but the principle applies. And third, do whatever it takes to not get bitten. Yep. See, there you go, folks. 10 fingers, 10 toes, and all Lonestar on the edge.
All right. Well,